turning a negative into a positive. That's what one Katrina evacuee couple has done as a way to help others, especially children, cope with what comes next. The result? This book, entitled Catte, the Big Hurricane. The main character, a calm, cool-headed cat. Joining us now from St. Louis, the authors, Sean Gerowin and Caroline Gerowin, and of course their little 1.5-year-old Hanni. Is she doing okay? She's hanging in there?
She's hanging in there.
All right, if she gets a little restless, we'll let her run to the floor director there. It'll be okay, no problem. But we wanted to have the whole family because it's the daughter, your daughter, that inspired this book, right, Caroline?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did. She was the reason. She kept us sane, I think, during the whole evacuation process.
Did she really
inspired the book?
Well, did she realize what was going on, or was it the type of thing where, as you guys were experiencing what was happening and looking at her and looking in her eyes, that the idea was sort of inspired?
I think it was looking in her eyes. I think she didn't really know so much what was going on because we've traveled a lot with her, but for us, I think we did it more for ourselves, to keep ourselves sane, as well as have something for her to remember in the future what happened.
And Sean, you brought a lot of pictures, and you guys, it's all right. You can do whatever you need to do to play with Hanni. Hey, it's live television. She might want to go over to Daddy. That's okay. She's precious. Yeah, do whatever you guys. It's okay. We'll talk about the book. We'll look at pictures.
Okay.
We're looking actually at pictures right now of your home. Sean, tell me what happened. We're looking at actually the street shots that you took and your house itself.
Yeah, 2 weeks after the storm, I helped some friends from Chicago, Tulane alumni, deliver clothes of Baton Rouge, and we decided to try to see if we could see our house, to see all the images on the satellites if our house was really underwater. And so we got into the city, and we wore waders, and there was still water on our streets, and we got to the house, and it's kind of what I imagined it was going to be like, but actually a little bit better, because the water didn't go up to the roof like it did in other friends' houses. It was about 2 feet deep at the high point in our house.
Wow. And it's funny, I'm watching your daughter. It's a combination of either peekaboo or she's remembering what happened to the house and she's thinking, hands up, Mom and Dad, it drove me crazy. That's okay.
Yeah, she was a real trooper, I think.
What does she have hooked on? Oh, is that your microphone? Oh, we better get Sean's microphone back on the jacket there.
Yeah, she grabbed the microphone.
That's okay.
A precocious Hanni here.
Here we go.
Well, that's
take her.
You got her? All right, good.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the book. Catte, the Big Hurricane is the title. Tell me how, I know, Caroline, you're an artist, and you did all the illustrations, right? Okay,
yes,
so
I did.
So tell me how you pick the characters and how the characters intertwine with culture, the culture of New Orleans, and also Katrina.
Well, the character of Catte was a character that my sister and I had come up with years ago, my sister Teresa and I, and he was always a sort of the epitome of the New Orleans community, that everything that made us happy about the city. And we never actually had a story to put together around the character, but the hurricane inspired that. We thought it was a good time to do something a little different. So
I love this illustration of the storm, the big cloud blowing upon the city. I mean, it's frightening, yet it's soft too. It's a comfortable picture to look at.
Well, I think it was very therapeutic for us, and for a long time, my husband and I had wanted to make a children's book. It's very different from the kind of art I guess I usually do, and it was a good exercise, and I really enjoyed doing children's illustrations.
So along with the illustrations, Sean, talked to me about just the stories that are told in the book. I mean, it's the relationship among the characters talking. I mean, they all cry and when they have to leave each other, but then they come together and they talk about rebuilding the city.
Yeah, yes, because when we evacuated, we went all the way to St. Louis, and after we saw it wasn't going to be a quick return after the levees broke, we started contacting all of our friends, and we started hearing it from their children, wondering if not the hurricane was going to get them where they are, whether or not they're in the Midwest or not. And we were worried that people, you started hearing that our friends were losing their spirit. So we kind of wanted to write something that was uplifting for our friends, but also for us and children, where the friends, where Catte, where he loves New Orleans. It's a special place, unique place, and all of his friends are worried about losing it. And it's kind of, in the end, they all decide no matter what hardships they have to endure, they're going to come back and rebuild their beautiful city.
And it says Catte met with his friends to discuss their plans for the future. Despite the challenges, all wanted to return to rebuild. But then you have an interesting character in there, Ned. The Nutria felt it was too much trouble. Besides, he never liked living in a historic city where he was not allowed to burrow holes wherever he liked. What's the purpose of this character?
Ned, again, that was kind of like a poke at some of our friends that were kind of talking about how difficult it was going to be, and we kind of did it as a kind of a poke. Come on, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenges, but we could do it. And the point was to stay positive, because if we don't stay positive, it's going to be a much harder job to do.
Carolyn, did you find other moms talking about the same things? Well, mom and dad's talking about the same thing, and have you shared your book with your neighbors and people that you know from New Orleans? What's their reaction?
Well, I had actually a very positive response from all of my friends that are mothers, and it was particularly good, I think, speaking with friends of mine that had to enroll their kids in other schools, and moms and families that are going to be away for a little bit longer, and they like the positive message of it, and they bought it for their kids and to read to their children, and they gave us, you know, they enjoyed it and told their friends about it, and they said it made it happy to look forward to coming home.
And of course you can go on your website, Lait.com, not only see beautiful artwork, but you can click on and buy this book, Catte au Lait, The Big Hurricane. Catte au Lait, inspired by Caroline and her sister Teresa growing up. It's precious, and so is your family, and we thank you for just sharing the story with us. Hanni took off. She left you guys. You better catch her.
She did, yeah. But she says happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, she's running around the studio, but happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, you guys. Well, another step forward for New Orleans. The city devastated by Hurricane Katrina has announced the party will go on in February as scheduled. That's right. We're talking about Mardi Gras. The parades will likely be scaled back, though. The city hopes corporate sponsors will underwrite the cost. It'll be great to see that up and going. Well, Friar